U.S., 4 black women and girls are killed every day. You actually heard me right there. I said every day. This is obviously a crisis, but oftentimes it doesn't get the attention it deserves.
According to a study published in Obstetrics and Gynecology, pregnant women in the U.S. die by homicide more often than they die by any other pregnancy-related causes, and they're frequently killed by a partner. Black women in the U.S. who are pregnant or were recently pregnant have up to nearly 3 times higher risk of dying by homicide than those who are not pregnant. Sadly, the BlackFemicide rate has increased. Every 5 hours, a black woman or black girl is killed, typically by a black man. This is the story of Tamara Cornelius. Tamara Cornelius was a 31-year-old mother that worked as a nurse at St. Francis Rehab in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. She had 3 kids and was pregnant with her 4th child. Her family described her as a loving mother, and they were all excited for the new baby. Tamara had recently ended her toxic relationship with her ex, Rafiq Thompson. Sadly, Rafiq began to stalk and harass Cornelius. On April 8, 2022, the pair agreed to meet at the Cheesecake Factory in the King of Prussia Mall around 9 p.m. It's unknown as to what happened to make Thompson leave before the food came. Thompson waited for Cornelius as she left the restaurant at 10:15 p.m. and headed to the gas station. As she was pumping gas, Thompson pulled up behind her with his headlights turned off. He briefly spoke to her, then he fired a handgun at her several times. Medics rushed her to the hospital, but she was later pronounced dead.
Montgomery County District Attorney's Office issued an arrest warrant for 38-year-old Rafiq Thompson of Philadelphia this afternoon. He's wanted for shooting and killing his ex-girlfriend at this gas station on the 100 block of North Gulf Road in King of Prussia around 10:30 Friday night. Upper Merion Township police say they found his ex, Tamara Cornelius, lying in the parking lot and suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. She was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. Investigators say the two met and talked briefly before Cornelius went to have dinner inside the Cheesecake Factory restaurant. After her visit to the restaurant, she drove to this gas station where police say Thompson followed her. As she was pumping gas into her car, police say Thompson shot her multiple times as she attempted to run away.
On April 13, 2022, Rafiq surrendered to the police. He was denied bail and is charged with 2 counts of murder. During the investigation, it was revealed that 4 years prior, Rafiq was sent to jail for physically assaulting his then girlfriend.
The authorities also revealed Thompson's criminal history. An affidavit shows Thompson was arrested in 2016 and later pleaded guilty to aggravated assault in 2018 in connection with intentionally striking a previous ex-girlfriend with his car in Philadelphia. Thompson was released from prison in 2019, serving roughly the minimum of his 3 to 6 year sentence.
If he would have been charged with attempted murder, for hitting her, and from what I read, going after her with a knife, then he probably would have never got the chance to even be involved with my sister, and she would still be here.
The residents of Prussia was distraught by this domestic violence incident. One of those people were attorney Shaka Johnson. He sat down with a couple of news reporters and provided his insight and advice to people experiencing domestic violence.
New charges are now announced against a man accused of killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend while she was pumping gasoline in King of Prussia.
And court documents show that he's a history of domestic abuse and is on parole. So I'm going to bring in attorney Shaka Johnson joining us now. I mean, this is a horrible story that sounds like it could have been prevented.
It could have been, I suppose, but I mean, domestic violence scenarios, Alex, are always the most tedious kind. They're volatile, they're unpredictable. As I understand the story, these two started off, at least the evening, at dinner, and that, erupted into this.
Well, he also had called her 93 times and texted her hundreds of times.
Sure.
So she kind of capitulated that, all right,
yeah,
I
she wasn't answering at first.
Let's go meet at Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, sure, not to suggest this was a
date.
Right, Valentine's Day dinner. Of course not. Of course not. It's really a very sad story, very tragic story. The fact that she was pregnant only compounds things.
I know.
And they believe he knew. that she was pregnant.
That may have been the impetus for his fury and all those calls and all those text messages and the constant legal word harassment that he was bestowing on her.
And this is how it ends up. So they leave Cheesecake Factory, and it seemed like maybe she thought it was resolved. And she goes to pump gasoline. He followed her there and shot her.
I got a different read on it, Mike.
Okay.
I got a different read. My read was she left him at Cheesecake. Like, this conversation is over. And then he follows her. And for first-degree murder, right, for the charge of first-degree murder, the operative word is premeditation. So to the extent that he was riding around with the gun in the car so that he could leave Cheesecake, immediately follow her to a gas station, and then shoot her, suggests, or at least could suggest, and I'm sure District Attorney Kevin Steele will say this, suggests that he planned on killing her that evening if things did not go his way.
Because because he waited and then followed her and he had it right there.
And it was ready. It was there. I don't think he went and got it. I think the evidence will suggest, Kevin Steele will say that he had it with him, and if things did not go as planned, he was going to kill her, and that's what he did.
I can just say, I understand what she was probably thinking after 93 phone calls, whatever, in that day.
Sure.
I'll go there. Maybe we can talk it out. I don't know.
Or maybe talk him down, because obviously I think 93 phone calls and text messages suggest that he's being agitated, his activities are escalating, so she probably thought she could talk him down off that proverbial ledge.
What's interesting is he had a prior charge for doing something similar. It involved an ex-girlfriend, and there was an stay-away order, and he violated it. Didn't he have to do anger management, and he completed that?
He did, but clearly this, whatever that gentleman has going on inside of him extends past what a little certification and anger management can do.
Obviously, we all wish she never had gone to meet him.
And then it makes you think, well, if she hadn't gone with those 93 calls and texts, would this have just happened another kind of way?
At her house. I don't know. What can women do? I mean, you get a restraining order.
I mean,
well, sometimes that doesn't work.
You can get a restraining order. That helps. But obviously, I think sometimes people are too afraid to get the system involved to give them the assistance that is available to them. I don't know what this particular victim had done previously. I know, Alex, we just talked about a previous girlfriend, but I don't know what she done. The system has lots of tools at, women and men, let me be clear, at people's disposal that they can use.
And I think she had other children.
Of course, yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So those children are now, motherless. Correct.
Oh, my God.
Tamara leaves behind 3 beautiful children. I hope they transition to a household that is supportive and nurturing to their needs. I hope Rafiq gets life behind bars, and may Tamara Cornelius rest in peace.